What is up? What is up? What is up? What's up, Gorilla Todd?
What's up, Shelby's Comics? My bro, my pal, my good
Oh,
buddy. It's been too long.
been way too long, way too long. We'll see if we get any other losers up in here, man.
Yeah, for
But
sure, man.
yeah, it's been too long. You and I were rapping a little bit. That's why we're calling this the comic rap. I said,
Okay.
well, man, why don't we're gonna do it for content. Let's get online. Let's let the community see us and our lovely faces.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good.
Speaking of lovely face, man, we just talking. You just losing a lot of weight. You looking
Yeah,
good.
man. I've been eating healthy. Been trying to take care of myself. That paper was bugging me. Yeah, I've been eating good. I'm down about 35 pounds. Um, had a good week. This last week it was my birthday week. I turned 50.
The big 50,
Yeah,
man.
man. It was great. I went out to dinner with friends a couple times, enjoyed myself after being kind of strict on my diet for about 2 months. It was
Now,
nice to let loose a little bit, but
now, is it true that when you hit 50, you get senior citizen gets discounts for lap dances?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I have no idea about that.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't go to those places in Vegas. I've heard they're traps. Scary, scary
They probably
traps.
are.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But I'm hoping I get like a discount. I might get a discount at Denny's.
Ooh,
You know, on the senior slam. That would be pretty cool.
there you go, the senior slam.
I'm on YouTube. I'm live. I don't care. You're cool. You're good. One of my buddies just came in.
Come on in.
What's up? You want to say what's up? You're welcome to jump in. What's up? This is my buddy.
What's up?
Check out if you watch this on the rewind. Check out Pure Comic Collector on IG.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my buddy Paul.
What's up? What's up?
Welcome, Paul. Welcome. All right.
What you wear like a large shirt?
Yeah. That's kind of a personal question.
Well, you know. Am I supposed to?
I know we're close.
Go into my office, the warehouse room, and there's a box of polo shirts.
Oh.
Find you a large one.
All right. I got your goodies.
Nice.
That one?
Yeah, the warehouse room. It's right on the arm of the chair. He pressed his books for me too. He brought me a couple books back. He pressed for me.
Oh, nice.
I'm kind of excited. I had a buddy pick up a buddy of mine picked up a small collection. Showed me the books. You know, and there's a couple he told me he was letting go, and one was a book I've never actually had. Not anything crazy. It's just one of those books, you know. You get so many books that come through your hands, and just sometimes there's certain books that elude you, and you never get your hands on them. Well, finally, I got this one. Am I going to keep it for how long? I don't know. I might.
Part of the squad now.
Yeah.
Like
Squad goals.
Like an employee now.
Yeah,
Clerks.
right.
Just because we help, it doesn't mean we like it.
Well, what is the book? Did you show the book?
He hasn't given it to me yet. He just put on his new shirt I gave him. You want to see the new shirt? The debut of the Gorilla Todd polo.
I'm rocking the polo, man.
Oh, check that out.
I'm like the brand man.
Looking nice.
Yeah, right? He's like legit.
Yeah. I don't even have mine on.
He was legit already, even without shirts.
What's that?
Legit already, even without shirts.
Yeah. Looks good. Chris is probably the same size, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll give him one too.
Nice. Are you live streaming?
Yeah, we're live right now. We're on YouTube. Is there anybody watching?
No one yet. I was just checking to see if we were live. We are live.
Yeah, we are live.
Yeah.
Live and direct.
We always have a few people pop in. It is, as I was just thinking about, it's Wednesday. There's a few auctions probably going on and stuff, but you know, that's all right. This will be up for other people. Starting.
Yeah, I see it.
Perfect.
Beautiful. These are some new books. This is the 1 in 25 Ultimate X-Men.
Oh.
And then this is the 1 in 100 in Huck Lee Ultimate X-Men.
Oh, very cool.
But those aren't the ones that were eluding me.
Met him. Pretty nice guy. Really, that had been the one eluding you, huh?
This silly book. It's not, what happened.
I remember buying that new on the rack when it came out. I read the cover off of it.
When I got interested in this book, it was years ago. 9/8s were about, I remember seeing 9/8s for $200. And a buddy had told me, "Oh, I'm going to get that for you for a present." And then he didn't. He did something else. And then by the time I went back, they started spiking.
800 right before the team.
And I was like, and I said, I'll just be patient, and I'll find it one day. And this book, it's really clean. Like,
well, I was just about to say that book and then the Sensational She-Hulk are both hard to find in really good shape. The white cover for that one, but the Sensational She-Hulk has that weird pink cover.
Yeah.
La Cruces is in the house. I knew he'd find us.
Oh, I see. I'm not looking at comments, so I can't find anybody.
Oh, you're not looking?
La Cruces
just joined us.
Oh.
Paul, I got Gorilla Todd and I hanging out. Yeah, great John Buscema art in that, and I was trying to look and see who the writer was. Let me click. There you go. Cruises says, "Hey, Gorilla Todd."
What's up, La Cruces? I have a friend who I think is moving out to New Mexico, so I might start doing the conventions out in New Mexico, in Albuquerque. Was it Albuquerque? I think it's like an 8-hour drive. I usually I've been doing shows over the past year, really. Obviously I'm in Las Vegas, so I do the local shows. I produce a show with a buddy, Barney from Simpsons Comics, at our local one of our local libraries. We do that a couple times a year, called Old School Comic Con, and that thing's been great. We're working on our next date, so I'll announce that on the IG soon. And then I've been doing shows with another promoter who does his show is called the Front Row Comic and Card and Comic Show. It's a lot of card dealers.
Okay.
But it's comics too. It's, a little bit of everything, really. And he does shows here in Vegas. He started in Vegas, and then he expanded to Pasadena, and he expanded to Phoenix. So I do those shows. And it's fun. And there's a Waffle House in Phoenix, which I miss. I'm not in the South anymore. I actually miss it.
Our buddy Las Cruces, of course. He's been a friend of ours for a long time.
Yeah, always for sure.
Supports us and stuff. But yeah, sometime I'm hoping maybe fall time frame.
What's up, Tate Prime?
I was invited over. Tater. I was just thinking about you, Tate. I need to give you a call, my friend. We hadn't talked in a while. I seriously was just thinking about you. And that's going to be one of our first, not you, first topic, but we have a couple of topics coming up here. But yeah, hopefully in the fall I can get over there. Someone invited me over to California. I definitely want to get to the big Frankensons.
Yeah, I haven't been over there yet, but yeah.
I've got some friends down in Arizona too, and so I thought about maybe trying to do the whole like California, Nevada, then Arizona.
That would be cool.
You can see the Grand Canyon too, so I think it's somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah, I'm excited. So yeah, I got basically shows planned in Vegas and California and Phoenix. There's another one I'm looking at in Phoenix that I'm excited because, well, Sam Jones, Flash Gordon from the movie is supposed to be there.
Ooh.
And then even more exciting than that is, the artist Dean Yeagle? He was a cartoonist for Playboy. He does that character Mandy. He's supposed to be there. And I was always a big
I know what you're talking about because I used to read Playboy for the articles.
Oh, exactly. Just the articles.
So Todd is in his new little office. If y'all are ever over in the Las Vegas area, Ramus. If anybody's watching this on the rewind, Gorilla Todd's over in Las Vegas. He's got a nice little office space full of comic books you can go and visit on the weekends. You can also set up an appointment, go by. You can see he's got lots of great books on the wall. I see some great Strange Tales there behind him. A few Star Wars books. Of course, it's in the selling show. This is more of a visit show, but if anybody is looking for something, you can definitely shout it out. And look at that great space. Look at that. Look at all those comics and stuff. You can come into Gorilla Todd's office. Check out some comics. Oh, got some Dave Stevens.
Oh, yeah. A little bit of everything. I got some Dave Stevens. I got a little Dave Stevens section with some prints and some comics.
Everybody's saying hi to one another. So Tate says hi to Ramus.
Thanks,
Tate says hi to Lacrusis. Lacrusis says hi to Tate. And then Captain Ramus says, new shop looks great. Yeah, he's got 3 spots now in the same building. He's got like a storage room, he's got a slab room, and then he's got this room here with some new books, old books. So definitely, I'm gonna have to get over there to Vegas sometime. Check it out. Gorilla Todd's got his buddy over there. Give him a shout out again.
That's my buddy Paul. He's on Instagram as Pure Comic Collector. He posts some great stuff. He's finds some amazing finds that makes me a little jelly, but I'm happy it's a friend who's finding them. Paul and I actually have a trip planned later this month to go out to San Diego to go hunting for comics for the day. We're flying out just for the day. We're going to hit as many shops as we can, have a few good meals, and fly on back.
You sure that's the name on IG? I'm looking for it. Pure Comic Collector. I got it. I found it.
Yeah, it's like a purple circle logo.
Yeah, I found it. So I'm already following him. So
kind of a big deal.
I'm starting a little thing here. Hold on a second.
I'm hunting that one myself, Captain Ramius. That Comics Journal 117 is a tough.
That's a tough book to find.
That's a tough one to find.
It is a tough
book to find. All right, so there we go. Pure Comics Collector. It says daily dose four color goodness, hosting fun finds, comic book hunting, comic collecting resource info. Look at all those.
There I am. Look at that, dude. That was my birthday dinner at my new favorite pizza place, Sicilian Boys Pizza.
Yep. So Gorilla Todd just turned the big 5-0 about 6 days ago.
And hey, just so you know, this is Shelby. This is my buddy Shelby. Shelby and I go back to my earliest days of selling comics on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
So in one way or another, Shelby and I have been on this journey together from the very earliest stages.
For sure. For about 4 years, I guess.
Shelby, where are you at?
I am in Houston, Texas.
Oh, man. All right.
All right. Tate says he hit 59 in October. Oh, my God. He's almost retirement age.
Yeah. I don't know that I'll ever get to retire as a teacher.
Oh, 50, not 59, 50. I will be 55 in 3 days. 3 days. I'll be 55.
You want to get in on the stream? I got another camera. We can set it up.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just,
He said Todd's lap.
I got
So, now, did you get the new Taylor Swift comic book though?
I probably have some on order, but I haven't gotten anything yet.
what, Madden Magazine?
I have the old Taylor Swift comic book. You want to see the old one?
Yeah. I know there's an old one.
I didn't know there was an old one either. Oh.
Probably.
Oh, that one.
Happy birthday to you too, Tate. Seriously, give you a call. Oh, there you go. Oh, look at that old CGC label.
You could probably crack, CPR to get a 9.9.
But, hey, the way it's going, we're going to talk about that too here in a moment. First thing we
cranked it up to 11.
I think 15 is the new 10, right?
There you go.
I want a 10 square.
11.9.
Or just give me an imaginary number.
Yeah, exactly.
The undefinable grade.
So we do have a few topics. We are going to talk about CGC here in a minute. I guess I'm going to start with the sad news first.
Yeah.
Is on Monday we lost a friend of mine, and I tell you, I've shed a few tears over the past day or so over this. Ed Piscore, part of comics kayfabe with Jim Rugg, died on Monday. I knew him a little bit, and I'll give the quick intro to that. Is during COVID is where we all kind of started meeting each other. The whole industry landscape change, YouTube change. We started, Gorilla Todd and I started doing these auctions online with other people and stuff. And Cartoonist Kayfabe's channel started during COVID. And they probably had about 50 videos at that time. And of course, they have over 1,700 now, 4 years later. And I really liked it. I really liked Jim and Ed. I reached out. Last Wednesday was his last show. Okay. Besides liquidating. Hey, then Tate, definitely, I'm going to try and keep this as on a somewhat weekly or so cadence. I was trying to do that a couple of weeks ago when Southern Comic Geek and I got on here. So yeah, if you always got a space here, my friend. But I reached out to Jim and Ed to tell them how much I really like their stuff and everything. Ed reached back out to me, and him and I talked a little bit online, and then I'd actually met him in Texas at a show. And I think you said you met him too.
Yeah, I met him at Heroes Con a couple of years ago. And it was a brief meeting, but it was definitely cool to have met him and Jim Rugg.
Yeah, and I've never met Jim. I did support his book Octobriana when it came out. Ed was a really nice guy to me. The show I met him at in Texas, he was sitting next to Herb Trimpe. And at that same show was Rob Liefeld. And yeah, so it's really cool, I was talking to Ed, and I had gotten the Rolling Stone magazine with Herb Trimpe and stuff, and signed, and he thought it was neat, and he brought over Rob Liefeld, and Rob freaked out over it, and so it was a really cool little meeting. And but yeah, like I said, we talked a little bit, and then when his comic book Red Room came out, of course, those of you that were in the auctions, I was able to be kind of a little minor distributor of that. You know, because it's only through Fantagraphics, and I was able to get like a little package and
Yeah, I remember you had a good
yeah,
amount of those.
sold a lot of those books and really try to support him. But you know,
Yes.
it is. And I know there was some controversy and that was surrounding right before his death. And I was going to get online in support of Ed, you know, because I did know him. And we wasn't like we talked every week. We hadn't talked in years or anything. You know, I'd actually tried to get him and Jim to come down to a convention as guests a couple of years ago. And the scheduling just didn't work out or anything. And that's the last time I talked to him. And you know, I wanted to come online in support of Ed during that controversy because I knew a lot of it wasn't quite correct, but then everybody started piling on with the YouTube videos about it and everything. It's like, okay, I'm not going to try and look like just another person piling on trying to hit clicks, because that's not why. And so I said I'm gonna let the news kind of die down a little bit. Yes, you can go to Facebook. His sister has a post. You can send well wishes through there. I'll try and find his sister's information here in a second. It is Justine. I cannot find her last name really quick, but I'll try and find that. But it's Justine. So I said I was going to wait till the news kind of died down, and then I would try to do something. I was hoping Jim would actually reach out, but instead, Jim, for some reason, decided to cut professional ties with Ed right before that. And I don't know that I obviously don't know anything. No one knows anything of why of that. But Ed was a really great guy. He had his weird, like, you know, hip hop type of lifestyle. He dressed that lifestyle. You know, he could be a little bit off-putting at times. I can too. You know, Todd, you and I have known each other for a long time. God knows I can be off-putting. I can say stupid stuff. I can act
everybody's capable of
and everything,
a
right?
wide range of behavior. So
yeah, and you know, but that's no reason for some of the things that we, of course, saw with this. I did a pretty deep dive into the first allegation and the girl that, and I am not going to say her name or anything like that. And I agree with you. That's why I'm talking on this subject for the first 15 minutes of this program. Then we'll go on to other topics. But you know, this person reached out to him. She you know, said she liked his artwork. They talked for a while. She shared some information with him about things she had done, you know, and you know, he said something like, "Oh, you naughty girl." You know, that was kind of it, you know, and offered, "Hey, if you're ever over in this area in Pittsburgh, you can crash," all of that. Okay. There was three kind of negative comments that people was grasping onto. This girl never said. This was the news and the public that said he was grooming her. She never said that. She was just saying it was creepy, but that was something that also happened 3 years ago. 3 years ago. She was 17 at the time, which the age of consent in that state is a 16. There was nothing illegal. And let me put some things into context here. And Todd, you know, I know you and I have talked about this a little bit, is COVID was going on. It is a very lonely, isolating time. You, me, Ed, probably some other people, we're all single guys. For some reason, love or other people or something like that just has not come into our lives in positive ways. And it gets freaking lonely and it plays with your head sometimes, dude.
Yeah, you're getting pretty deep here.
I'm getting a little deep. I warned you when we talked earlier. And when you're almost 40 years old, you know, there's that little time, you know, it's like, oh shit, I'm almost 40, I'm middle-aged, you know, it's COVID, I'm alone. You know, our brains do fucked up shit to ourselves. And my brain does some fucked up shit to myself all the time. And have I said off-putting things? Of course I have. Have they been correct? No, because they're off-putting, man. Has it been probably on the edge, if not over, on terms of creepy? I will definitely hold my hand up and say, yes, I can be a creepy person. You know, and we take it as a joke and stuff like that. But a lot of it comes from a little deep-seated fear of getting older, being alone, filling up that hole with a lot of this stuff. And sometimes when people show us attention, we latch on in negative ways, or that can be perceived as negative ways. And I am not going to fault anybody for that. And that is what this, I don't know if I want to call it culture, but that's what a lot of people did, was they attached a lot of negative connotations to what occurred versus sympathy, understanding, looking at it from someone else's point of view, and trying to show a little bit of forgiveness. And as far as I know, Ed, there was one more accusation that came about that seemed to be false, or it could have been a joke. I don't know. The person has said they don't want to speak about it. You know, so if anybody wants to read, I'm going to share the links and things like that. Ed left a suicide note on Facebook. It's very long. It's very tough to read. But you know, I hope that a lot of us have learned something from this. And like I said, I know Todd and I have talked about this quite a bit over the years, because, you know, him and I can joke with one another. We were those kind of friends that we can joke with one another. We can be honest with one another. That's something that Todd and I remember somewhere within the first year or something of like us talking with us, like, dude, I'm going to be one of those truthful friends to you. And if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry, but I'd rather hurt your feelings and tell you the truth. Right?
Sure.
And there you go. So Tate, hey Tate, reach out to me. I think you still have my phone number. If not, we can talk. Cause I know Tate and I have spoken briefly about dealing with depression and stuff. And, we've got to understand, especially in this environment, meaning nerd environment, comic collector environment, stuff like that. Okay. We didn't get into this because we were the freaking football players and cheerleaders and things like that at school, right?
I mean, I got into this and then played football, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I hurt my knee. So anyway,
no, I just think honestly,
go ahead and talk for a minute, Todd. I apologize. So go ahead.
It's a tragedy in the sense of what happened, and I just think, it's good that it's important. I hope people know that to have a community or some friends or some people to talk to. There's always somebody out there that's willing to talk to you. If you need, there's hotlines. There's resources available. Nobody has to go through anything completely alone. I'd like to see us live in a world where people are, treated not condemned without all the facts, basically, and given a fair shake. It's hard for me. I don't think that's the world we live in right now. And it's not a great place from that perspective, so we've got to work together to change it. It's good to have these little meets and talks and discuss these things, in an open forum like this, where we can speak relatively freely and express ourselves.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. This should be a community. We are in a lot of ways maybe a community of misfits, still, and we should be supporting one another. And when I see other people that kind of jumped on the bandwagon for clout or for clicks or for whatever, it really hurt me a lot. And but yeah, Ed will be loved and missed, and Tate volunteering that wants to talk or needs to talk, even if I don't know you. And there's someone in the comic community right now I'm talking to, okay, that's going through some problems with alcoholism. And I've never made it a secret that, come May 5th, I'll be sober 14 years. And that's something that took me a long time to overcome. And, someone's reached out to me and trying to help. But anyway, we all need to take more of a chance to look at other people's point of views before we just start throwing things and accusations and etc. Because you never know at what state someone is in. Here is probably one of the best articles I read. I'm going to share a few screens right now. And I meant to grab something a minute ago and I forgot it. I'm going to grab it here in a second. Here we go. I'm going to share my whole screen. This is Atomic Junk Shop. I really like his stuff. If y'all haven't checked it out, check this guy out, Atomic Junk Shop. But he has a really good little news about Ed and just kind of giving his view about it. But I think he says a lot of the same things I just said, right? This was something that happened during COVID, the isolation, things like that. But he's got a couple of great links here. Like I said, I'm not going to get into it either. But if you want to see some of the stories, you can click here, and then there's another story here. So that is Atomic Junk Shop. Another one, which I'm not going to necessarily hype as a good source. I'm actually going to hype this because this is not a good person. Bleeding Cool Comics. He was one of the people that actually jumped on kind of the bandwagon with this, but he does have a lot of links and things like that to a lot of the things. Ed, also go check this out if y'all haven't, and I'll pull up this. Is he just published? He was publishing this strip, Switchblade Shorties, that was for free on Webtoons, and he uploaded the last strip the day before his passing, and that is for free. To go check that out. It's really a cool little comic. There's a couple of things that happened as a fallout. He actually had a book deal to actually get this published through Abrams, which had a $75,000 upfront payment for it. They cut that publishing. They cut it because of the allegations. He had an art show that was supposed to happen that he was really happy about. That was dropped because of these allegations. And I guess one of the things is, what good can come of some of this? If you've got a problem with someone, talk to them first. If you don't feel safe talking to them, then find someone else to talk on your behalf. But throwing things out there in social media and putting things on blast and stuff like that does no one any good. And it definitely doesn't make you come off as, in any kind of positive light, I guess is what I'm going to say. So anyway, I'm going to end it with that. We had a few other comments. Yep. Yep. And David Reese joins us. What's up, David? How are you doing, my friend?
Hey, David Reese.
So, like I said, I'm going to just kind of end my, conversation.
As long as you said what you needed to say.
You have 2 more words. Go ahead, Todd.
No, I just said as long as you said what you needed to say, I think, we're all on the same page. I'm not trying to just, spout words just to spout words, but, it is what, it's just.
I hope I didn't come off like that. Saying it meaningfully, I was crying earlier and you and I talked on the phone and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. No, I was shocked when I wasn't really aware of any of the news or anything. And I just saw that it was April 1st, and I was like, "Is this for real?"
That's the way I was too.
It was almost like in disbelief, and then I looked and it was like, "Wait, this is, this looks like it's really, really for real." And it was really sad,
Yeah. And I'm like you. I thought it was an April Fool's joke too. I didn't think anything about it. I actually went to an office event last night, and the person that recruited me for my job had to go into the hospital for a few tests and freaking died on Monday.
Oh man.
Right. And so I'm kind of upset over her dying. And then I get home and I start seeing more of these posts. And it's so funny. I'm going to say this facetiously. So funny. You saw a lot of posts around these. You're laughing at my accent. I know it. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't sure what you said. I was like, what word was that?
Facetiously.
Say it again.
Facetiously?
Are you saying facetious? No, I can't say it. Oh my god, yeah. What?
Facetious?
You know, people all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you know, posting all these videos about these allegations, but you're not seeing that many posts about, you know, this anyway. So
Facetious.
facetious. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you. All right, talk for a second. I'll be right back up grabbing something.
Next topic. I don't know. Let's talk comics. I got this one earlier. I showed it to Shelby. Not a huge book, but my buddy Paul pressed it for me. This book is one book in all my years I've never owned, so I was excited when I got an opportunity to get a copy of Savage She-Hulk #1. You guys want to see a cool book? I can run in the other room and grab a cool. I mean, I have cool books in here. I don't need to run in the other room.
Putting that up in the background.
I got some old world's finest. You'll appreciate these, Shelby.
That's a cool one.
With the Legionnaires. Is that the Legionnaires?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got, I don't know, Batman and Superman as kings.
That's a cool one. I love those. I love those covers. I picked this up, and I actually sent a picture of this to Ed, and I told him that I found this, and I want him to sign it. And he said next time we saw each other that he would sign that for me. So anyway, yeah, I just cleaned and pressed this thing. It's in rough shape, but a nice Avengers.
Oh, you're telling that. Avengers 5?
It's rough. It's got a split down the spine. It's got a split at the top. But like I was telling you, I was doing some new cleaning methods. Your friend might appreciate this. You know, I did the press and clean on it, but also first time I did a photo bleach on the cover, the back cover, and it came out a lot.
Make yourself big. Big yourself.
Big 'em.
Biggin, yeah.
Biggin.
There you go.
But I photo bleached this cover.
Oh wow!
And it came out really nice. It was very tan and stuff.
Did you use a blue light, Shelby, or just?
I did. I used a blue light on it.
Yeah.
And actually, it worked so well. It actually showed up a water stain that I could not see before because of the tannins and stuff in it. And it whitened it up so much, it actually ended up showing this
exposed the stain,
this tide line water stain.
Sure.
So it's kind of interesting, but yeah, it turned out really nice. So, you know, not any, you know, it was something I wanted to kind of pick up. You know, I bought it, I think, around a 2.530. I would say it's probably around a 4 to 4.5 now. So
anytime you can do that to an early Silver Age book, you know, that's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, Mr. Collector 123?
Here's just a cool cover I saw. I love these like collage little photo cover. Superman on a visible horse.
He's like choking somebody, like a Ghost Rider or something.
Yeah, right. Like a Civil War.
Reminds me of Ghost Rider. Yeah, like a Civil War general.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, it's got a photo.
Yeah. It's a combination of the art and the photo. I get it. That's cool.
Yeah, so I found that at one of my local comic shops back home over the holidays. And then driving through Shreveport on my way home. Look at that.
Gasp. What is that?
Gasp #1. This is American Comics Group. Gasp at those terrible teenagers beneath the old cellar. The devil's a businessman.
That's awesome.
It is cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is that, like a horror book or?
Yeah, Lou Wall art.
I haven't seen those.
I've never seen Gasp.
Hmm.
So what year is that, Shelby?
Oh, let's look. If I had to guess, I'm going to say it is.
50s?
I want to say probably 58. But let's take a look. Look at this beautiful white cover too.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's way late. 1967.
Oh.
Mm.
60s horror.
60s.
Yeah, that's interesting. You
Yeah.
said it was, what was the publisher? American Comics or
American Comics Group.
American Comics Group?
Yeah, when you see this odd shit.
Yeah. That's cool. Definitely. Cool.
And not that I'm collecting it, but I saw it and I had to pick it up. Is at a good price. Dr. Spectre #1.
That's pretty cool. I like those all gold key painted covers.
Yeah, I do too.
I like the Twilight Zones and the Boris Karloffs and
Chilling Adventures of Sorcery is told by Sabrina. Had to pick that up.
Definitely cool.
I'm still looking for that first. I want that.
Archie's Madhouse.
Huh?
Archie's Madhouse.
Archie's Madhouse.
Yeah.
I want that. But let me tell you what I found just yesterday, and this has been on my list for a while.
Look how happy you are. This is going to be something
he lit
good.
Up. He lit up. All right.
Oh, I've been looking for it, and I found it at my local comic shop.
Nice.
What a concept.
Josie and the Pussycats. Is that number one?
First Josie and the Pussycats. No, it was Josie before this. And so with issue 45, it becomes Josie and the Pussycats. So this is when she forms the band. Before that, it was just Josie.
Gotcha.
So
I got a
Josie and the Pussycats.
I got a sketch cover of Josie and the Pussycats I'm waiting on by my buddy Vic.
And then a book I've been looking for too, just to have in the collection.
Sure.
Nice. Yeah.
That's what, 76?
Number 76. Yeah, first. I think this first Green Lantern, Green Arrow.
Yeah, Neil Adams.
Yep.
That's a nice book.
It's like that's the next issue. Is my sidekick is a junkie.
Yeah, Speedy. Your ward.
So,
Speedy's a junkie.
this was cool. So I picked this up because I'd done a logo play on it when Jeff and I had our show. But the Beyond #8.
Nice.
Look, that castle. We've crossed these moors many times, but it was never there before. Robert, it's like the castle had that castle. Blah blah blah.
I love how the comics come alive with you, Shelby.
I know, Robert. It's like the castle in that horrible nightmare I had. Oh my God, the castle that's in her nightmare has shown up.
Here, I'll get a box of comics to show everybody.
Ace Comics.
They're not gonna be as cool as yours, but they'll be cool. Yeah.
Oh, let's see who we got. We still got Master Thespian. I couldn't get my voice right. Oh, it's cracking for some reason.
Okay. I'm going to show you all the books that I've posted within the last.
All right. So here's a funny one. I'm showing this funny one real quick.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane. You got Lana. You got Lois on the cover. Here's Superman. I'll tell you why I'll never marry you, Lana, or you, Lois. Who wants a wife so stupid she doesn't realize I'm Superman when I take off my Clark Kent glasses?
Huh.
You can't say that anymore. He's canceled. Canceled.
That's hilarious.
Bronze Age Superman canceled.
You know, we always joke. It's like they can't figure out it's Superman because all he has is glasses on.
Right.
But I'll tell you though, after COVID, after like seeing people with masks and not masks, it gave a whole. It lended a whole lot more credit to that.
True.
Like you do the hair differently. You know,
There's people I see at the LCS with a mask.
plus
on
he's
that I didn't know, and
he's
then
Superman. He
after
could
the
probably
mask-
he could vibrate at a certain frequency and change his appearance probably.
Right,
Well, you know, I've been actually watching that CW show. They did 3 seasons of it. Superman and Lois or something. And in that show, he reveals to his kids that he's Superman. And the first thing they said was, "You can't be Superman. We've seen Superman." Right? And so he must do something like the Flash does, like maybe vibrates his face to where he looks different or something when he's Superman. But yeah, I thought that was freaking hilarious. I ain't married a woman that's so stupid they can't figure out I'm Superman just because I have glasses on.
Shelby does not think women are stupid. Let's be
I do
clear.
not think women are
He's
stupid.
just reading what Superman says.
Right.
Superman is the one who thinks that.
Superman said it, not me.
circa 1968.
Circa 1968.
All right, so I think Todd's gonna show some.
Okay, so we got. I've done some Dave Stevens posts.
Hold on, I'm gonna make you big.
So that's you just switch places. There we go. We got a little Airborne Vanguard.
Since I cracked my voice trying to do that voice a minute ago, I'm good.
Yeah, I got some cool X-Men books.
Oh, First Binary.
This is the first.
I always loved those covers. Like, go back one. So there's several covers out there, you know, of like large hand coming in with little. The first one I can think of is like that Fantastic Four cover where X-Men is on one side of the hand and Fantastic Four on the other side of the hand and stuff.
That's quite a hand. It's all red and braceleted and ringed, and it's got Colossus pinned
It's a
down.
big ass hand.
Kitty's phasing through it.
I hated the way that artist always drew Wolverine.
This is Brent Anderson on this cover.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
From Astro City. I love it. I like it. I love Astro City.
Oh yeah, no, I love his art. I just hated the way.
That's a lot later. This is much earlier. There's a 200th issue. Oh, there's another Stevens.
Oh, nice.
Love the tentacles, right? And zombie skeletons. Nothing wrong there. Then I got a little older Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange in that weird costume.
Weird mask, yeah, hanging out the Black Knight.
Something.
This is a new Peach Momoko Edge of Spider-Verse 2. I got variant.
I can find that. That's nice.
Yeah, I got one. I don't know. I came across it somewhere. Then I got some cool X-Men books. First Alpha Flight. Nice old Silver Age Red Raven. It's a Golden Age character, I believe. Sunfire side by side with the X-Men. Let's see. And we got the other part of the first Alpha Flight appearance in X-Men. Always love that cover. Sasquatch spinning around in storms, whirlwind.
John Byrne, just such a great art.
Oh, another copy of that first part. And then I got some nice run of the early Master of Kung Fu's in really nice shape. First Blackjack. Bronze Age, really cool books.
Yeah. So speaking of that, like I said earlier, Todd's in his office. He sells comic books, but if y'all haven't checked him out, so over on Instagram, he's going to be dropping some video and such of his books. Y'all can
Definitely.
always. Whoops, let me.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
I'll switch that.
That
Yeah,
that
go
first
to
one
Instagram.
is my first new clip. That one with my logo. If you
Yeah.
click on that, it plays. It has a little. But don't play with sound because I don't want you to get a copyright strike.
So there you go. If you ever see any books or stuff, Todd dropped some videos.
Yeah, you just hit me up.
Now the one I saw, I think was this one.
Yeah, that's where I show the Master of Kung Fu
Master
book.
of Kung Fu, yeah.
And then I had these two Transformers that I show in that video, the 77 and 79. I had an 80, but somebody picked up the 80. The last
I just
issue.
saw that book the other day for sale.
Look at that. I got it right there. It's like live and is it live or is it Memorex? Here's a cool Neil Adams variant I came across.
All right, hold on. Jack just jumped up here, so
What's up, Jack?
Let me get rearranged here. All right, there we go. There's Jack.
There's a little Joker, little play on that classic Neil Adams.
Hey, hold on. Let me make you big. Is that it? There we go. Oh yeah, that is too cool.
They just switched places there. So I thought that was cool. And got this Darth Maul, wicked looking Maul.
Yep.
And I got a couple of Nightmare on Elm Street books. You got this. What's this? God Country 5. It's a Spawn cover. If you're a Spawn completist, gotta have that in your collection. Let's see. And then I got Little Strange Academy 1 in 25 finals, number 6 is Scotty Young. Like old times, I don't know, Captain Ramius, whatever you guys want. If you want anything, just hit me up. I think I DM'd you a while back about some books I think I still have for you. That's the Zaniac, the first Zaniac. The guy from the Loki show, and then I got some old horror books. I got this House of Secrets, really cool.
Oh,
Girl Running in the Mist.
Yeah. That's a classic.
Secrets 88. Then I got the Sinister House of Secret.
I love that cover.
Curse of the McIntyres. The Mad Stranger Wanted Rachel's Love or her life. Yikes. Not the best shape, but and then I got this Young Love.
Okay. When you guys run and sell on YouTube like old times, we've talked about it. We might see us one Saturday or something. And he says he's looking for a Doctor Strange 169. I'm trying to think what issue does that.
That's the first issue of
the first issue. Yes, I actually have 2 copies of that in my warehouse. So if you don't have it, I can probably try to search it out.
Take care of them. I don't have that one right now.
Yeah, I think they're actually both graded at a 5.0.
Strange Tales.
That's a great one.
And then another classic.
And that's probably one of my favorite of the Sternenko.
That's definitely a cool book. Let's see, got a little Machine Man #1. I try to post like all kinds of different books, modern books, older books, copper, bronze. Here's a Edge of Spider-Verse, the Amanda Connor 1 in 25.
Oh, that's cool.
Little Upside Down. This was a cool book that came in. This is Bitterroot.
My Girls is Upside Down.
Bitterroot #1, a Mike Mignola cover. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Here's the new Dracula series. This was the one per store.
Oh, that's cool.
By James Tinian and Martin Simmons.
We'll do a slow pan here in a minute, Captain Ramius. We'll get.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean,
yeah.
You know what the best thing is probably if I come in on with my phone.
I was about to say maybe if you switch over to your phone.
I can probably come in as
great cover. I remember redrawing that cover as a kid just because I love the 5 on their logo.
Yeah, right. Different and
it's great.
And they got this one, the first Photon.
Yeah.
Monica Rambeau. We got this nice, amazing Spider-Man Art Adams 1 in 25.
Wow. Doesn't even look like Art Adams. No, I don't see it.
It's right there. It is.
Well, I know it is, but
this is a cool one. This is the Fan Expo Philly exclusive for the Ultimate Spider-Man #1 third print. It's Lee and Hook redoing Joe Quesada. They got a couple copies of Twisted Tales #1. This is
I need a #1. I need a #1.
I'll get you one of these, Shelby. I got you.
All right.
Just from running, and then I got a few more books in the box. This was just a variant from Spider-Verse #1.
Oh, that's cool.
That sold out. A little Star Wars homage.
Star Trek, isn't it?
I think it's.
I know it's Star Wars.
You just messing with me. A little polybag. This is a cool one. I picked this one up in Phoenix. It's a Zerdsy Tomb Raider.
I like Xerxes' art. That didn't call to me the way some of his art does. That doesn't give me the tingles like his art usually does.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna probe deeper. Here's a classic X-Men. If you just saw the new episode of X-Men '97. I'm not going to give anything away.
Don't give it away.
I'm not going to give it away, but if you watched last week's episode, you saw the end of the.
And of course, Barry Windsor Smith artwork there.
Yeah, beautiful. And then here's a nice Adi Granov.
Oh, that's cool.
Or no, that's who is that? Who's that signature? That's Granov.
Okay. That's Granov. Yeah.
Cool Wolverine. So all those books are available. They're on my Instagram if you want to get a better look or if you need any pictures, anybody.
Okay, well, you said, take some pictures of your shelves, put on Instagram. So we're talking about Neil Adams a minute ago. Okay. I think he joined pretty quick. This is, again, we talking about photo collages, right? So it's a photo of the city behind him, but great Neil Adams Superman cover.
Classic,
yeah.
Awesome.
I love the photo of the city behind him. It's a real photo. Here's a cool book. Archie with Frankenstein.
I love how they like the old monsters, the old style where they used to draw the monsters.
The exaggerated cartoon of like the Karloff Frankenstein monster. So rent a monster, $1 per hour. And that looks like the guy from like the Fawcett Captain Marvel. But I guarantee he'll persuade your father to double your allowance. Probably one of my earliest Strange Tales I've picked up. I think that's the first.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's first Pace Pot Pete, I believe.
Isn't it what issue is that, 104?
104. I think it started at 101, if I remember right. All right, so here's some good stuff you would love, Todd. I found these at a little shop. I've never seen them before, but the Captain America and the Hulk, 1970s. They're
Those like coloring books. Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Fireside or what, but I've never seen them. I love the painted covers. You know, like I said, they're square bound. They're really cool. And then check this out, Todd.
Heartthrobs.
Look.
Oh wow, that's like a cover.
Hardcover collected edition from the early 70s, Simon and Schuster.
Very cool.
That cool. The best of DC romance comics. If we don't stop now, we'll be living a lie. How many times have I said that to you at night, Todd?
What? I'm trying to mute my phone because I'm in the waiting room. I'm backstage with my phone
and then I love cool fanzines when I find them, and I found this cool Star Trek fanzine.
You can leave them open. I got. That's dope.
Yeah.
Kirk with the weapon.
Oh yeah.
With the space weapon.
James Tiberius.
Yeah. And
Hardtails.
That's cool.
That is pretty dope.
Featuring the terror of the mummy, the shocking death of the witch, the terrifying Satan the demon, plus other unusual tales of horror.
I got some magazines I'll show you next.
Heart in the Jar.
That's
got
what
his chest ripped open. And then the last book I've got here, Haunted Love. That describes every one of my romances. Tales of Gothic.
Oh, Shelby.
Tales of Gothic romance. Haunted Love.
Shelby.
You're shivering, my dear. Relax. You'll belong to me forevermore. And then she thinks in her head, I hate him, but I can't refuse his kisses.
Well, how come she can't refuse his kisses if she hates him?
And then it says, a kiss to save him from the grave. But I love the way they frame it. So it's framed in with like these candles and then just this backdrop. And then it's like seeing this image in a mirror.
Is that a Charlton? Is that a Charlton?
It is. It's a Charlton #1. So
Charltons are really hard to get in good shape.
This is in pretty good shape. This is probably, it might be pushing, except for the miswrap cover, probably 9.0. And all the Charltons have that kind of off-centered printing, you know.
I don't think they were made at the same level of quality as like Marvel.
Oh no. No, your friend can contest to this. If he's done any cleaning and pressing of Charlton books, you might get away with a press, but you probably better not humidify it, and you better not try to clean it because the inks will come right off of Charlton books.
You're absolutely right. It's tough.
I ruined a nice Flintstones #1 that way.
You got to go low heat and be very gentle.
Very gentle. I do a steamer actually on those instead of a humidifier. But I do not try to clean those because you will erase the ink right off. If you do a dry clean, wet clean, it will kill it. All right, I'm going to add a stage. Todd's got his phone. You can see a ceiling. So if you look really close, you can see the years of dust and mold coming through his vents that he's breathing.
No, there's like two of me. I'm multiplying. There's Todd and the clone. Who's real? Who's not? There you go. Okay. Let me camera. No, camera, turn that on.
Yeah, you just want to flip it.
Yeah, I know in practice what I want to do. I'm just trying to figure out how to do that. Got more settings.
No, you should have a little arrow circle thing down at the bottom.
Oh, it unplugged. Hang on, I gotta plug my computer in.
Oh my god.
My computer came unplugged.
Damn it, Trevor.
Gorilla Todd is a perfect name for you because you're like a big monkey trying to move around over there.
No.
Great. Yeah, you should see a circle with arrows or something. Yeah, he said just keep spinning it around really fast. No, not like
that. No, I really don't. I don't see it.
Help him out.
I see Mike, Cam, chat,
like
3 dots with more,
it's like playing cards
and
with my sister's
X sleeve.
Trying to flip it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to flip it to the other cameras instead of the front-facing camera, the back cameras.
I could just do that. Okay. I just turned the phone around. No, that doesn't work.
No, you did it. No, it flipped. It flipped.
Okay.
There you go. You gotta be slower. That Kong looks cool. The Kong and really cool. There's a Kid Venom now. That Wolverine #1 has dropped in price so much.
Yeah.
I need to get my list for Strange Tales real quick. I got a full run of Submariner. Oh, Throg. Oh, that's a cool World Finest. Yeah, the Superman, Batman
composite Superman.
Thing. Yeah. That's a cool promo book. I've got several of them. That's a cool. Yeah. Strange Adventures. Deathman. A character that no one can see or hear. Yeah, nice little run. Cockrum. Oh, I did get something today. Oh, hold on. All right. Keep doing that, Todd. Let me grab my list anyway.
Got some Strange Tales, some Journey into Mysteries. I got some variants over here. Got some sets. Some different things. Immortal Hulk, Linsner, Amazing Heroes. Couple slabs. kinds of books. But I can't see if anybody's chatting anything. Otherwise, I would respond. Shelby kind of left me hanging. I don't know. Can you guys hear me? I don't know. Kind of feel like I'm talking to myself, but that's okay. Why should this be any
different? Okay. Lucretia says nice books. Captain Raymond says he needs Journey into Mystery 99.
I think I have 120.
Oh, we all need a Journey into Mystery 99.
120, 116, 115, and then I have the UK variant of the 104.
Oh, that's cool.
I have a 124. Where's the new Sabrina?
Journey into Mystery is one of those I haven't really gotten a strong collection in yet.
There's some Dave Stevens prints.
Got a little glare on that first one. See it again. Oh, that's cool. Oh, loving that.
That one is not that one. Justice League.
You know, I passed up on this week. It was I think a 3.0 for 1200. Justice League #1.
There's another Strange Tales of Costa Rica cover.
What issue is that?
That is 157.
Every Strange Tales I need is below number 130. So if you have any Strange Tales below 130,
When I go to the other rack, I got one more rack. Arm's getting tired.
what'd you say? Your arm's getting tired?
Yeah, you know, it's not easy being me. So, another Zerzy Starfire. Does that give you the tingles, Shelby?
That gives me the tingles. That one's
Okay.
yeah. Need a little more side boob, but oh, we lost your picture. You'd think he should, right, Captain Ramius? That you should have the arms of a silverback.
Well, I have an issue with my shoulder. It hurts sometimes.
Oh.
The Strange Tales, I have 146, 144, 134. Nope, none of your numbers unless I got them. Oh, these are later.
No. Got them all. I'm only missing for the superhero run of Strange Tales, I'm only missing 12 issues. And I'll have the full run from 101 all the way up to 160, whatever it went to.
And then I'll show you the other one while I got the phone rocking.
You got what? Oh. Todd's taking us to the bathroom with him. Droids is cool. The Ewoks are cool too. You don't see those too often. He's got 3 office spaces over there. I'm telling him he needs condensed down, but Todd, he likes spread out and stuff. Oh, what? Hold on, go back to that puzzle book. That's cool. I might need that. What you got on it? Oh, you probably can't hear me. He's on the phone.
$10.
That looks pretty good shape, huh? What?
Yeah, it's clean. I mean, it's not a 9.8 or anything, but it's a real clean book. I'll send you some more pics.
That's fine. Yeah.
I mean, it could probably.
And I don't remember how many issues they did of those puzzle books. I tried to collect them at one time. I know I gave up, but every time I see them, I'm like, oh, I wish I had that again.
So I got some different stuff.
You got some nice, later, I don't know what call them, modern. You got the first McFarlane Hulk there. You got a couple of the good Marvel team ups. Yeah, nice little Punisher #1.
Punisher right between the Muppet Babies.
Right next to Muppet Babies.
And the Ewok.
Don't see too often. Oh, I haven't gotten it in yet. I did just buy a He-Man #1 Star Comics, and it has a Star Comics logo and not the Marvel logo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a good mix, isn't it? I think we need to save him on some rent, Captain Ramius.
We got some slabs. I love that one. That's an Art Adams. Captain Carrot.
Oh, yeah.
Stan Sakai on Moon Knight. No Defenders. Just, I don't know, some more stuff.
More modern variant stuff.
Yeah, this is newer. This is the racks I'm going to use for the new stuff once I get everything kind of set up. And I got more slabs down there and more books over here. And then I got these omnibuses I sell.
Oh, nice.
For 50% off all the time. And that's my D&D section. I got Pokemon, these little Japanese Pokemons, and Star Wars and Marvel. I'll grab this and bring it in the other room.
All right. Yeah, so I'm looking. So we just did Strange Tales. Any Tales of Suspense below number 54 needing?
I'm not really happy. Tales of Suspense. Wait, I got this in the back, and I'm gonna take my phone out. I'm gonna leave the phone. Yeah.
And then I need a lot of Tales to Astonish.
But tomorrow I have this collection I'm supposed to look at. X-Men 2 to 93 and all the Silver Age X-Men appearances.
Yeah, you was talking about that. Yeah.
I'm excited about that. I got a nice little stack of magazines. They got not super high grade, but I picked them up for such a price I couldn't say no. Doc Savage. I think I have 1 through 5 and 7. 1, 2. Cool covers.
I love Marvel magazines. I used to pick those up when I was a kid off the newsstand. I just loved them. I loved them. Ghost Pirates from Beyond. Oh, he found the secret of Loch Ness Monster.
And then this is number 7. I guess I'm missing 6. We'll have to track down number 6.
Oh,
Ancient Monsters in a Land Before Time. Then I got a couple heavy metals.
oh,
I think
nice.
I think I already had this one, but it was a Corbin, so I grabbed it. Can't ever have enough den in your life. And then this was a more recent one, but I don't think I've have it. It's a Glenn Fabry cover.
Oh, nice.
Tarna. And then I got this one because how do I let this one go?
Oh, wow. Yeah, Frazetta.
Yeah, self-portrait. I was pretty stoked to find this one because I looked through the box and I didn't see it.
I'm trying to buy some of his early Silver Age work that he did.
And then I went back through the box and I saw it and I was like, how did I miss that? I picked that up at a little sidewalk sale I went to at an antique mall a couple weekends ago.
So I forgot about these. This is a cover that you do not see very often. This is probably about 9.2. The guy made me a deal on it, but this is just a cool Thor cover. All of them.
Oh yeah, that one's awesome.
Board.
That's a really cool cover. I think I have that one. Got the Warriors 3 and Sif.
Yeah.
It's like the whole crew is.
Like I said, it's about a 9.2.
I like how they tuck Volstagg in behind the hilt of the sword. Just like,
yeah, they hide.
Like he's the biggest dude, and they give him the least amount of space.
But yeah, I love that. And then the same guy just kind of fill out the stack. I bought these. And these are probably about a 9.2 also. Beautiful. Tales to Astonish 67.
Oh, beautiful. Mm-hmm. Oh, are you? Nice. When are you coming back?
Monday night.
Okay. I'll see you next week, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelby. Thank you, everyone.
Good to meet. Yeah, good to see you again, Paul. And then this one.
Yeah.
Gene
I
Cohen.
love the covers with the like bluish gradients in the background.
Yeah, it's not duotone. I mean, but those inks from back then, when you get those dark blues and stuff, it just makes everything else really pop.
Really rich. They're really rich colors.
It's very rich color. And like I said, this is probably about probably a 9.2 also. But nice. Yeah, really cool.
Very nice.
So cool. And that is kind of it. I was sitting here going through my stuff and I've got the calendar for this year. And I actually just saw this. The art in it is really bad. I love Planet of the Apes, but the art was really, really not good.
Yeah.
Oh, I did just pick up it's in the other room, but I picked up, what is it, Miracle Man number 13, I think, where everything gets destroyed and stuff. I did just pick up a really nice copy of that.
Yes.
And then we're here in April. So Daredevil, Chip Zdarsky. I'm not sure that's any good or not.
Mm-hmm. I haven't read it, so.
No, I like Chip Zdarsky though.
Yeah, he's usually decent.
Well, and we need to plan on, so some of the things that are coming up. I know we do have the Daredevil Born Again series that'll be coming out later. Probably the most recent thing that's going to be coming out, I believe in May, isn't it? Is Deadpool 3?
I believe so. I mean, I'm right now. I'm enjoying X-Men 97.
I called myself wanting to go back, and you can go back and watch them. They have all the seasons of the X-Men cartoon. I got about halfway through season 1, because when I watched it back as a kid, I think I watched the first season, but then I never would catch the other seasons.
The animation is not as good as the modern day animation, but it's also the X-Men. You know all the stories.
Yeah.
They're not. They're kind of. It's almost like It's playing a lot like the X-Men's greatest hits. You know, like if you were a fan of the band, whatever, when they first broke, yeah, you might have listened to the whole album. But if you found them later, you listened to the greatest hits, and you kind of you got the hits. You maybe didn't get the same experience, but you still know the band.
Yeah.
If you read X-Men for those years, if you read, from basically the giant size to about to the 200s to 300, I don't know, and maybe a little beyond, I think they're really hitting some of the classic X-Men tropes. There's that post that's you've probably seen it. It says there's like 10 different X-Men plots. And one is, Scott Summers' day gets ruined by either Sentinels or an alien attack or the Shadow King. It's somebody's, so it's the X-Men, and it feels like the X-Men. It looks like the X-Men. So I'm enjoying it,
I like binge watching things like that, so I'm going to wait probably until either all the episodes drop, or maybe about 3 or so episodes, and then watch. I did just watch that the 3 Body Problem that's on Netflix.
I don't know.
I know it's a popular book, or series of books. It started off okay, but it ended a little bit lackluster. But like I said, I went back and I finished season 1 of Superman and Lois, which was pretty good. It was actually good, that CW show. Probably about 3 or 4 episodes into season 2, and it's just kind of dragging a little bit for me. But if you're not familiar with it, they're married. They had twin sons who look nothing alike. One of them have powers, one of them doesn't. They move back to Smallville. Of course, all kind of havoc breaks loose then,
I remember I think I watched like the first episode or first couple episodes, but I don't watch too much like just regular TV. I pretty much watch everything streamed or.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing. Is they're all streamed. I don't even have. All I have is streaming services now.
I mean, I like watching the X-Men, and I can watch each episode like a second or a third time because there's a lot of little Easter eggs, and I like to really analyze like some of the things because I don't know. Even when I watch some of the Easter eggs videos, that I'll find stuff that they don't find.
Yep. So as we talk, so we actually did have topics. So I think you wanted to bring up something about CGC 9.9s.
I mean, I don't want to go. I don't really want to go off on a tirade or anything. Let me just
go ahead. Tell me what you think.
I want to say this in a fair way. I don't have any problems with any way anyone wants to collect comics. If you want to collect comics, I'm all for it. Collect comics however it makes you happy. I have certain, and honestly, these beliefs haven't changed. I mean, I have slabs. I've bought slabs. I've sold slabs, but I will never take a book that's in my collection that I want to keep, that is part of my own PC, my own collection. And I'm like really moving away from having a PC. Honestly, there's certain books I'll never sell that I picked up like when I was like 11, 12 years old, that I'll just want to keep till I die. And that's just how it is. And then whatever happens to them, I don't care. But I'll never take a book from my collection if I think I'm going to keep it and get it slabbed, because I don't see the point of it. If I don't see it as a preservation technique, because you can't. First of all, I literally had to send my giant size X-Men, which is an 8.0. I had to give that back to CGC because somehow a piece of like paper or cardboard got into the well. So like, it's not really like, is that really gonna like preserve it long term? I'm really
Yeah.
It's really more of a philosophy of collecting than it is anything else.
Yeah.
Is the frame I'm going to put it in.
Yeah, so I'm going to show the book. So here it is. So here's the quick little history. So first is over here, and if you don't go to the CGC forums, really good stuff. Go check it out. But yeah, here is they just graded this giant size X-Men 9 point number one the information of where CGC did it, the announcement on IG that Metropolis Comics or Comic Connect will be auctioning it off. And then here is the actual auction. So the auction date's still TBD. So let's take a look. So there's the back. I mean, it's smooth. It's very, very smooth, right?
It's a clean looking book. Absolutely.
It's very smooth, especially for a square bound. You and I were talking about that earlier, that it is a square bound book. I mean, and I'll admit, for a square bound book, it's kind of crazy that, but I know a few of the things you were talking about is it does have this slight miswrap.
Look, I'll just say this. I'm a big believer, and I'm not the first person who said this, but always, always, always buy the book, not the grade.
Sure.
So you got to be able to look at the book you're buying and determine for yourself, is the condition of this book acceptable to what I'm being asked to pay for it? And that sometimes that just comes down to what you as an individual collector will or won't accept in terms of the condition of a book. And it may be that you have certain issues that you specifically don't want. You may just not be happy with rusty staples, because like my belief is if a book has rusty staples, it's only going in one direction.
I don't know the history. Todd and I were talking about that earlier. We don't know the history of this book. And I haven't done any research. I know that it is, on Comic Connect, which is the auction for Metropolis Comics. I don't think Metropolis Comics, from just what I heard, I have not researched it at all, Captain. So he was asking this. If Vincent Cirillos, who owns Metropolis, if they got this graded or if it came into them, I feel like I heard it came into them, and such. Now it does have a few notes here. Is that for a square bound book, it says that for it to be certified, certain criteria had to be met. Perfect square bound spine. Okay,
what is a perfect square bound spine?
I would assume that it has very sharp, if we think about square bounds, and you and I have seen a lot of them in our life, is what it is stacks of folded paper. There's glue down the seam, and then the cover is wrapped around it, and then those overlaid wraps inside have two large staples. So that would have to mean that each of those layers of pages were laid down, glued, and the cover wrapped around it to where I guess it has a sharp leading edge, kind of like a like the square bounds we were talking about earlier, right? So like this square bound book, it has a sharp.
I mean, I guess my
it has a sharp flat edge, and then a sharp outer, a sharp flat outer, and then sharp edges on each side.
I mean, I guess it just comes down to
looking at it, you don't see a lot of bubbling or any bubbling at all, I guess. It is a slight miswrap, but sharp edges. We don't have a picture of it.
And what it comes down to, I guess, is like you'd have to have a lot of high grade copies of Giant Size X-Men 1 to really come to the determine, is that one of the best in existence?
Right. So
because I think that's what a 9.9 grade suggests. It is one of the best copies of a given book. That is in the hobby.
Right. So, and then it says, so perfect square bound spine plus, so in addition to perfect cover edges. So I'm assuming what they're saying is the, these edges we were just talking about. And then it says, perfect cover whiteness. Now, that is one of the hard things with this book, right, is that it's mainly a white cover, and it shows stains. What I can't believe is I don't see any staple indentions, because those staples are right there. And
yeah, but that might just be hard to see through the picture.
Yeah. And I can't zoom in unless I save this and then do it, but so,
I mean, look, I'm not going to beat it. I'm not going to try and beat it up just because it's a 9.9.
Oh, no. No, you and I, neither one are. Neither one of us.
It's just the fact of, I'm not the biggest proponent of getting books graded, is all. I see where it pays. It can make economic sense, on some books, but I'm also happy selling books raw. I don't know.
And I agree. And I was just having this conversation the other week. So if you've not seen that video, CGC put out a video of how to find 9.9s and 10.0s. And they ended up getting like 4 cases of some Power Rangers book, a modern book. And it's like 400 copies. And they ended up with like probably 12 supposed 10.0s, probably 30 or 40 9.9s, and then, 80 or so 9.8s. I mean, at that point, and it goes what you said, right? Buy the book, not the grade. You're now buying the grade. I mean, because a modern book, fresh off the printing press, sent in, case fresh, from the printer to CGC, unpackaged, they're worthless. They are literally worthless books. They're brand new books,
I mean, they're $3 or $4 books, whatever they are, $5 books.
Mm-hmm.
But the point, the thing is, first of all, most stores don't order cases of books. They're not ordering in quantities of 200 per title. We're not in that world of new comic sales. So most of the time those cases are getting broken up at the distributor level and handled by the distributors, and then getting repackaged in boxes and shipped to different stores.
Right.
The fact that my understanding is that when they grade a book, 3 people grade the book independently, and they go with the two. If 2 of the 3 agree, that's the grade they go with. Kind of handling a book a lot, and the more you handle a book, the more wear gets put on that book. And if you flip through every page of that book, if everyone who grades it flips through that book, I don't know if that spine is going to be the same as a book that nobody flips through.
I agree. And so,
and do you need to flip through a brand new book? But then there are brand new books that are printing errors, that have the wrong pages in them, or have extra covers, or have, misstapled pages.
So, you and I were talking about this. Like I said, I have not researched or know if there is information out there of the origin of this book. Captain Ramius, of course, asked, was it a cracked 9.8 that someone resubmitted, I guess, and it got a 9.9, etc. Because a lot of people do crack and resubmit like 9.6s and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I brought up to Todd, brought up to you earlier, and I'm trying to find the was, I'm going to share this real quick. There was a collection called the Mile High 2 collection. So Chuck, of course, purchasing the church collection, or Mile High 1 collection, purchased in the early 80s, 1985, what he called the Mile High 2 collection, which were pallets of comic books dating from the 70s that were sent to a magazine distributor, and they were just never sold. They were never put out to newsstands for whatever reason, and they just sat there on the pallets, wax paper, bindings, all that stuff. It included a lot of early Marvel magazines, but what it also included, and let me zoom in on this. After we signed the deal, went back to the hotel, the seller headed home. We went out for dinner, joined him at 8 p.m. The seller knew relatively little about comics. He did know enough to recognize that X-Men titles were generally valuable. As a result, he had stashed about 3,000 old X-Men comics at his house, which were part of these pallets. Among them was Giant Size X-Men #1. Okay. Now, I don't know how many or anything. And that's why, and it's been a long time since I've read through this, but to tell you about the size of this collection, he says here, Chuck, is he had to hire four 53-foot long trailers to get all the pallets of books from New York to Colorado. How many freaking pallets can you fit probably on a 53-foot long tractor trailer? And he had to get 4 of them. That's how many pallets of books. He bought this whole collection for $250,000. So even if you had, and he explains here that
it's like he found an event, 300 copies of Avengers 32.
Yeah.
And he's already shipped over 1.5 million copies. Yeah. I mean, comics. So, we're talking about a lot of comics.
a lot of comics, and I think it says here, so each pallet was a 4x4 pallet. I think it's I don't know how many high of books it is. But you know, this is what he says: filled to the brim with what appear to be glossy originals. You know, these are glossy, beautiful books, and
uncirculated
because they were sent to a magazine distributor that for some reason just never they were in a warehouse in New York, and you know, 2 pallets of Marvel Dayglow note cards. You know, it's just crazy. But like I said, I know X-Men, John says X-Men 1. So this could be part of you know, some of that.
I mean, it could. There's no like link to it. There's nothing that really, as far as I know, that directly links it. But yeah, there is.
No, there's not. All I was getting at is
No,
that,
but there's definitely a lot of books, a lot
Yeah.
of high grade books could
Yes.
potentially, you know, a lot of these books are probably still sitting in Colorado. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of these that are in the stock of Mile High. And I would bet that a lot of these are in really nice shape. I mean, he's
Yeah,
probably
he says
sold
yeah.
a lot of them.
Yeah, he says he ordered his first order of Mylars were 40,000 Mylars. 40,000 Mylars. And sold them at the 1985 San Diego Comic-Con. But
I mean, it's nice when you get to go to a show and you have a new collection that you think people are going to react well to, and I can only imagine. I can't really imagine
Yeah.
million and a half.
yeah,
Only
and
million.
I remember there being I'm trying to see. You know, he even says here that at that time, the grading guide, like Overstreet, didn't even have a category in terms of price for how good these books looked. Like they had to create the category.
Yeah, well, and again, that's just the perfect situation that illustrates price guides are just that. They're guides.
Yeah.
You know, it's you know, prices are, it really comes down to what someone's willing to pay for something at a given time and how much somebody's willing to sell it for. And if those two things can meet.
So I'm trying to see a date. I was trying to see a date here. This is in the early 2000s. I think there's a date here, 2003. So let's talk just a little bit about history here. 2003, CGC started grading books, I believe, in 2001. Overstreet had to basically create the category near mint due to this collection. That before then, the Overstreet only had very fine near mint. So,
yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I remember it was basically 3 grades. It was high grade, mid grade, low grade.
So, and actually, he talks about CGC here, and he says, for what it's worth, the senior member of the Overstreet staff was at Pittsburgh Comic-Con. When I quizzed him about the addition of very fine near mint as a grade, he told me he honestly couldn't remember why they decided it should be included. He did say, however, it was an advent of professional grading that was a primary motivation. With all the upper end comics that are now being sold at auction that have been professional graded, it seemed important to Overstreet to highlight the difference between 8.0, 9.0, and 9.4. Remember, because Overstreet only went at the time to 9.2, 9.4, things like that. when I asked him if this was just a way of forcing everyone to get their high grade books professionally graded, he stated that the trend seemed inevitable in the way that the market was currently evolving. He also stated that Overstreet believes that it's only a matter of time before credible competition to CGC enters the market. This was a quote from 2003, so 20 years ago, and we still don't really see, I guess, besides CBCS, that
I mean, it's
that out there. And he says, and that being the case, they see this new grade as a reaction to market. So they're taught the new grade of 9.6, 9.8 at this time. You and I are now talking about 9.9s, but I think the same commentary applies here. He says, with the new grade is reaction to market forces, not simply a device to benefit CGC. My question would be, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Is that what we're seeing? Is it due to the market differences? Because we have seen such an advent of grading new books and things like that. Or is it, I know a few people on YouTube and stuff has said it's maybe a cash grab type of thing for CGC in.
Hey, look, CGC is a business. They're trying to make money. They should be trying to grab cash. Is it?
I agree with you, right?
You know, is it something I necessarily want to dive into very deeply? No, but that's just my personal position. That's my choice. If somebody else chooses to, that's their choice, and best wishes to them. I just, at the end of the day, I think it's good to talk about this stuff, because why not? But if you want to get your books graded, if that's how you enjoy comic books, it's good for you. It's good for you that you enjoy them in that way. And if you prefer to have them where you can read them and enjoy them in that way, it's good to read them and enjoy them in that way. I personally like to be able to read my books, to look at them, to enjoy the artwork that's inside. Now, there's some books, obviously, that are worth, a lot of money, and if I want to read them, I'm going to probably grab a reprint or an omnibus or something of that like that. But it's the vast majority of books are not, just as well as I do, the vast majority of comic books are not going to command the price of a giant size X-Men 1.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I mean, I think my copy is a 6.0 or 7.0, and I'd hope for more. I'd hope for a bigger grade on that. I'll be honest with you.
But really,
one of the things, go ahead.
What you just said right there, you hope for a bigger grade. It's an awesome book. You have the book.
I have the book.
Does it really matter if they tell you it's a 6.0 or an 8.0? Does that really affect your enjoyment of the book?
No, from the collecting standpoint, that I own one now and that it's in my collection, absolutely not. From a mortality standpoint, I know I'm not going to live forever, and I might want to buy some pina coladas on a beach somewhere. Yes, it does.
Well, yeah, but it's more. That's more of a seller mentality.
That is. Not the collector. Sometimes it's difficult to differentiate, right? The collector to the investor to the dealer, or whatever you want to call it, right?
I mean, I've gotten to a point where it's like I've kind of accepted my pure collecting days are pretty much over. I will buy stuff I like, but it's very hard for me to buy something I haven't had at this point. It's either really, really expensive or really, really hard to find.
No, you're 100% correct.
And so I mean, look, like I pick up this Frazetta heavy metal. I'm not buying this to flip. I'm buying this because I love Frazetta and I see a Frazetta piece that I don't have. The
Right.
Dave Stevens pieces that I'm selling, they're only because I probably have 3 or 4 more copies.
Right.
You know, I went through some boxes. I was looking for a Thor book for my buddy, and I found the one, that first print, the little alien with the girl with the ray gun.
Yeah.
I found 6 copies of that book in different boxes that I've just bought at different times because it's just I see them, I buy them. It's so. I mean, is it? It's not really fair to say I don't collect comics. I have boxes and boxes and boxes, but I'm not really collecting them like I was when I was 15 years old or 25 years old or any, it's not like, it's shifted to a different form.
Right. I completely agree with you. I know that I find it a lot more difficult. So I boxed up just because of room, literal having room in this house. 4 big, plastic totes of video games. 4 of them, and that, probably still, I couldn't tell you how many more. But anyway, and I took them over to my warehouse. And I went through a few boxes, just looking, seeing what was in them, things like that, remembering and stuff. I agree with you, is at this point, I'm not positive what I'm collecting for anymore. I have a list. I have empty holes that I'm trying to fill. But these books are Silver Age books that are hard to find. I love picking up holes like I did, of the highest copies, right? And that's one reason, right, is I always kind of look for those higher grade copies. But I agree with you. It doesn't give me it gives me a momentary satisfaction that I got to mark something off a list, but
and see, I've never really operated like that, in that I was never
a completionist.
Well, I was, in the sense of, from 8 years old to 29, I read everything I bought.
Yeah.
I bought everything I could. And I would buy doubles of books. If I thought something was going to be hot, I would buy doubles. And I would take those books to the shows that were at the mall or the wherever. And when I was young, and I'd always be able to trade, those books would go for $5, $10, $20. And I would just trade them for some Silver Age books or 70s stuff that was a quarter a piece. And right. I'd get, and I remember there was a guy who would always bring these boxes. He would just drop boxes on the floor, and they were all like 70s stuff, like Commandy and 70s DC. And he would charge a quarter a piece, and I'd be able to get like a long box of books for like a half a dozen or 12 new books. But I was a voracious reader. So for that 20-year period, I was collecting to read books and to love and enjoy the art. And then I opened up my first shop and put 80 long boxes in it that I had collected. And that lasted a few years. And then I kind of slowed down with collecting, but I never stopped collecting. I just kind of slowed down. And I was buying a lot of hardcovers and stuff like that. Stuff that was more it lent itself to reading more. But then, look, talking about 99 grades, I submitted my Walking Dead 1, which sat in my comic boxes for 13 years from the time it came out.
No, I remember that, yeah.
And I ordered 10 of those direct from the distributor, and I sold mine on eBay for probably $5 or $6 a piece. I kept one. It sat in my boxes, and one day my buddy was like, "Dude, you still have that Walking Dead 1?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's in a box somewhere." He's like, you should get that submitted. You know how much that book goes for in high grade? And he's like, you know how to grade books. You can tell if it'll get a good grade. I'm like, yeah, let's look at it. So I dug it out. I pull it out of the bag. I'm handling it with my, these hands. And I'm looking at the book and I say to my buddy, I'm like, it looks perfect. There's not a spine tick. The corners are sharp. The edges are perfect. The pages are it was an unread copy that got bagged and boarded upon receipt, taken out of the box and bagged and boarded, and it sat in a bag and board for 13 years. So I submitted that to CBCS, who is, to some people's accounts, is a harsher grader than CGC. And literally that they looked at that book when I submitted, and they're like, this has a shot. I didn't really know what they were talking about. I was relatively new to grading books, and I submitted it, and then they sent me an email that they needed another payment, and I sent that to my buddy, and he's like, you got a 9.9. He's like, because they bumped you up into the payment, into the like fair market value, because that's what happens when you go from a 9.8, because the value, the evaluations go like triples. So you get bumped from, if a 9.8 was a $2,000 or a $3,000 book, I forget what the evaluation was, but it was like 3 or 4 times that, and they charge you like 1.4% of fair market value. So that I needed to pay the difference between what I had paid and to get that. And so I did, and sure enough, that book came back at 9.9, and I sold that for a bunch of money. And that reignited my collecting. And I bought, with that money, a lot of the Marvel Silver Age keys that I always wanted. But I was a teacher. I was just teaching at that point. It was beyond my means. But this gave me the means to, get some, like a giant size X-Men 1 and an ASM 129 in high grade, and an ASM 50, and but just books that I'd always wanted.
Right. And yeah.
So I will never condemn anybody for selling a slab book, because it's just a part of the hobby. And you either love the hobby or you don't. I guess you love it or you don't. And if you love it, I guess it's like love. You got to love it unconditionally, as far as I'm concerned. You may not be, you don't have to love, you don't have to like every part of it, but it is what it is. I mean, it's funny. Like, I have a couple of slabs. I have literally 5 slabs on the rack, and I have 2 boxes of slabs on the floor. I don't even put them on the table. I don't know if that's subconscious or what, but.
Yeah, I was trying to look up and see what the census was. I'm having a little bit of trouble. Yeah, so talking about this book.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to blow your mind.
What?
Or maybe not. Here's the census for giant size X-Men. Total graded 12,172. 9.9, 1, 9.8, 240, 9.6.
Oh, universal. I see. No, well, it's.
But look at this, though, is what, I guess one of the things I'm getting at. Look at what your bump is. It's still in that VF to near mint range, of your largest amount graded, so that tells me this book, A, isn't rare. B, probably is inevitable and there may be others out there that are 9.9. I agree with you. The square bound thing still throws me off.
But again, it's the only way to really like, if I look at it very like empirically, you would need to have, I don't know how many copies of that book.
Yeah.
In like that grade to really like what is really the best. I mean, granted they've graded those 249 eights. Now, not one of those 249 eights could have been a 9.9.
Well, one of the things that I was going to say earlier is there comes a point in which CGC can't make any money on something. Now, what I mean by that is what you just said is there's only so many 9.8s. How many of those have that potential to be 9.9? Well, when the peak was 9.8, you would say the answer to your question is 0. But when you think of 9.6s and you ask that same question, maybe your answer is 10%. So people would take that gamble of cracking a 9.6, cleaning, pressing, whatever needs to be done, resubmitting, and seeing if you get a 9.8.
But then see that
because there is that percentage potential. So now by them opening up the barn door, so to speak, that there's the potential to a 9.9, now they can make money again on people.
But that I hear what you're saying. It reignites the hope that somebody's thinking my book's, but it's also like it also lessens the integrity of this data that we're looking at right now.
There you go.
Because now we don't know how many books got cracked.
That's always been my problem.
So now they're not, because nobody's going to say, hey, this book was a 9.8. I'd like to see if it's a 9.9. Here's the serial number so you can track it. So your database,
right,
your census is accurate. That doesn't happen. So like
it doesn't. People do not send back in the labels.
This you can really only
put off the census.
You can really only look at this as data as an estimate.
Oh, I agree.
It's not pure. It's not.
No.
It's just it's kind of like a sort of a model of what's out there.
Right.
Now, clearly that shows you 9.9 is an anomaly. But anything between
or are they lowering their grading standards? And I don't know. I agree with you. I mean, your first thought is an anomaly.
I don't want to thought is. Yeah, no. The reason I don't want to say that is because I don't know that, and I don't have any evidence to support that.
Right.
So why am I going to throw that out there? It's just it's. But what I can see is like the book itself between an 8.0 and a 9.8. It's not a super rare book.
No.
They're out there,
right?
And if you open that to 5.0 to 8.0, there's a lot of books graded. And, there's a lot of raw copies out there that aren't graded. I find it hard to believe that there's they have 12,172 copies. How many copies could there be out there in existence? How many were published? How many sat in warehouses? How many were just destroyed through the ravages of time?
Correct.
So it's like you got to take this all with a grain of salt, I think.
Yeah.
And if you're that collector who having that giant size X-Men with that 9.9 grade is important to you, then you're probably going to be willing to spend a bunch of money to get it. I'm happy I got my 8.0 GSX giant size X-Men 1 when I was able to get it for a price of like $1,500 in an 8.0, and I'm good. I'm happy. And there was a point in my life, I was a kid, I added up how much is giant size X-Men 1, how much is 94 to, it was like it was issue 150 at the time. And it came out to like $1,200. Now, mind you, I was 8 or 9, maybe 10 years old. And I'm using Mile High's prices, or maybe I was using Overstreet. I don't know. But it was like $1,200. And it was like, oh man, I'm never going to be able to afford those comics. It's never going to happen. Fast forward to now, after I've already bought a 94 and a giant size X-Men and put the majority of the run together from 90 giant size and 94 to 150, I've bought a couple collections where I've been inundated with X-Men books.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally have multiples on these Cockrum and Byrne issue, and a lot of the Cockrum and Byrne issues.
Yeah.
There was a point where I had 3 or 4 copies of 141 and 142, but they sell right away. You can't keep those in stock. I can't keep those in stock.
Right.
It's like now I chuckle at the fact that, man, I paid more for some of these issues than I sell them for, just because I just didn't know better, and that was what was available to me.
Yeah.
Some I got good deals on, and I bought here or there, but
yeah. So I mean, it's interesting. We'll see what pans out. So
yeah, I mean, and I think it's just, for the most part, I think ultimately things are just going to keep rolling along. I mean, there's people who love graded collectibles, and it's not going to go anywhere. And more power to them. If that's how they like to collect, that's how they should be able to collect without ridicule or judgment. And if there's others that don't want to collect with graded collectibles, by all means, they should get the same opportunity. It's since day one when we met, I've been very adamant about comics. I don't care why anybody loves them, whether you love the art, maybe you love the covers, maybe you love the stories, maybe you love the interiors, maybe you love the ads, because there's some cool ads, and if you go through like the decades and the years of comics. But as long as you love comics, we're all here for the same reason at that very fundamental level.
correct. And I always say that, grading should be done for I don't know.
It comes down to this. You have to be able to look at your books, make a judgment call, know what the book is worth raw, know what the book is worth in the grade you think it's going to get, and does it make sense?
Yeah. Like for example, if I can find them again.
It's just, what's up, Hoarder's Hide? It's like,
Hey, order. I mean, like, I bought this book. I've always wanted my collection. I am probably going to get this graded.
And okay. If that's what makes you,
it's a 5 point. It's a 5 point.
Go for it.
I want it as a 5.0. I feel like I can clean and press it to probably a 6.
You want to see a crazy book I got in a collection that I'm like,
I love seeing crazy books.
I'm wondering why I have some, like, why was this book graded?
Yeah, sure.
Like, what was somebody thinking? Let's see what I can find here.
So as we're waiting on Todd, hi, Hoarder Todd. How are you doing? We've been here a couple of hours. We're just about to close it down here in a moment.
Okay, so I grabbed 3 slabs.
See.
Okay, here's a price variant. Thor.
Okay.
And a 6.5 makes perfect sense to me.
Perfect sense.
Decent looking book, decent condition. You know, not mid grade, but it's a 30-cent price variant. Okay. Here's another 30-cent price variant.
And I would love to get those. Ooh.
With the bleed stain, the ink stain over the cover. That one's a 4.5. I don't know that I would have gotten this one graded.
I agree with you.
Because that's just too. I don't know. Without that bleed stain, it's not. I mean, it's pretty incredible. It's a 4.5 with that. That's a pretty big. And then this is one that I see why this one makes sense to me. Perfect sense. This is a 4-color 318 from 51.
I agree. That's
a beautiful duck cover with the nephews and Donald, a dragon and a clarinet. Come on. That's like and it's a yellow.
And
so I mean, you wouldn't believe what I have this one priced at. It would probably be this much. I don't know if you can see that.
I cannot see it. I was curious. $25.
That book would probably be that raw, just because it's a very.
Just curious. What do you have the other?
I have this one at 60.
I'll buy it.
If you want them both, I'll give you a deal for both.
I'm not sure if I want them both, but.
But I mean, it's still the Power Man's a price variant. It's a 30-cent price variant, so it's a cool book in that sense.
No, and I agree. And I there is a chemical that you can use to remove those stains, those types of stains, without affecting the other ink.
I mean, it's kind of cool. It works on the cover in that they're underwater and there's like piranha, and maybe it's just. It kind of looks like he's like bleeding.
Maybe deal on both though. Maybe deal. We'll talk. Set them aside along with that other one.
I'll give you a deal. You know that. I got my little Shelby pile going.
Oh. Hoarder's Hide does it because you bought some for me, I think. Some of the 4 colors, and I was going through mine, Hoarder, and that's what Todd and I was kind of talking about. We started with the discussion of the giant size X-Men 9.9, but yeah, I mean, what makes sense? Like I said, there's some criteria around this should be graded. Neil Adams, first Green Lantern, Green Arrow, a seminal book. This one I'd like to get graded too. Now, probably not as many people care about this book, but first Josie and the Pussycats. I love me some Josie and the Pussycats. They're not on the cover. It's, previously it was just Josie, and then this is where she forms the band.
Have a good night, Ramius.
All right, Captain Ramius. I'm not far behind you. Now, should something like this be slapped? This is a nice book. This is probably, it's got some tanning and stuff like that. I could probably fix a little bit of that. But I don't know. Kirby artwork, high grade, Does it need to, be really cool cover?
What I'm saying is, I think
does it need to be preserved, right?
See, to me, well, when you say preserved, you're telling me if you put that in a Mylar and an acid-free board with other books in Mylars and acid-free
board, it is, yeah, like it is right now.
It's not. It's not pretty much at the pinnacle of preservation.
I would love to find a company that actually has. I was trying to see if I know I got a graded book around here somewhere. Company that provides good holders or whatever you want to say, similar to like a slab.
I mean, to me, and from my mentality, for me to submit a book for grading, I have to believe it's going to bring me substantially more. It's going to be substantially more lucrative.
There you go. Yes,
as a seller. But even knowing I can do that with some books, I still tend to just selling raw books. It's not that I won't sell slabs or have anything against slabs. I haven't ever gotten into the pattern of, I just don't submit a lot of books for grading.
Right.
Slabs come in collections through other ways, but that's. But again, it goes back to, look, everybody has their own rhythm they like to collect to, and neither one is, it's not right or wrong, just different.
I agree with you.
But yeah, it's been fun.
It's been fun. We'll maybe try and do this as and I agree with you, Hoarder. To grade or not to grade will always be the question. We're gonna try and bring this on some kind of cadence. We're not sure what cadence yet.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But we appreciate everybody being here tonight and hanging out with us and everything. And but otherwise, oh, interesting. I'll have to check that out. So, but otherwise, thank you all for joining in. Check Todd out over on IG. He's dropping videos all the time of his little store, of his business office store.
Showroom.
There.
Showroom, clubhouse,
always willing to make deals. But yeah, anything to say to the people?
I mean, no, and I'll tell you, Shelby, I've gotten such a good response from people. Like, I was very like, you've kind of watched me grow from when I was selling books on YouTube auctions, sitting in my bedroom, as the wall of comics grew larger and larger, to the point where the joke is Todd going to die from comic books collapsing and crushing him. And I took the first office, and I've gone through different stages, whether it was YouTube, selling on different platforms. Now I'm doing shows.
Yeah.
And it's just I've kind of found this rhythm, but I've gotten such a nice, warm reception from people, and some of the reviews I've got, people have left me on Google, that it's like, I'm like, it's not just, it makes me feel great that it's not just my own, it's just not, I collected comics for so long and didn't really have any friends that collected comics. And I just did it in isolation. And I never really thought about it much, because I had friends through other avenues. I always played baseball and wrestled and football. And it was just, but I always, Wednesday, whatever, or Tuesday, whatever the new comic day was at that time, I was at the comic shop. But the fact that people have come in and You know, even in just the 2 weeks of having this room. Really, no, I really only had this room open for 1 weekend. Yeah, this was my first weekend with this room. You know, I had it back in December for a month, and it went pretty good. But if I can get, you know, if it keeps going like this, then I'll be able to keep it. And you know, it just makes me happy, and I enjoy it. The fact that people come and they find cool books and they get excited and they dig through the boxes and they're like, "Oh man, I was looking for this book," and I don't even care if it's like a $3 book, because most of the time I end up, if people get a bunch of new releases and then they get some back issues, I give them such a deep discount on the new stuff that sometimes I'll give them up to 50% off just to hook them up, because you know, I don't need to, I'm not, you know, this for me is like, it's kind of a labor of love. I think that's, you know, you fall into that category too.
For sure.
We do this stuff with the comics because we love the hobby and we love interacting with other collectors and the whole camaraderie and community of it. You know, and I'll always appreciate YouTube for that reason, because
Right.
YouTube was really what, during COVID and during that time of, you know, really, I can't, I think it was like, honestly, I think I went through it just a lot quicker, in the sense of like, I watched some shows I was watching when I first got sent home from school, you know, when the year was over that March. And I was like, what am I going to do? I have a lot of time on my hands, you know? And then all of a sudden, just, I started doing the auctions, and it gave me something to do.
Well, and it's a thing that we've leaned on, right?
Yeah, and
no matter what happens in our lives, like I mean, I quit collecting. You know, I had a store, comic book crash of 2000, I mean,
94.
Yeah, 92, 93, 94. I lost my store. I ended up losing a lot of my comics that was in storage. You know, fast forward 10 years later, I'm going through a messy divorce. I'm freaking depressed. And I started collecting again, right? Because that has always been there for me. Same way with the COVID thing. Lost my job, sitting at home, you know, and I found the YouTube community and you and other people and stuff, right?
Sure.
So comics has always been there for us. It's been that thing that, and I joked about it earlier, right? That it's filling that heart-shaped hole in our chest.
Well, I think
it's more than that, right?
It's more than just the comics. It's the people it brings into your life. The comics are kind of the medium, but the people are really, you know, just knowing that there's other people out there, other human beings that can appreciate the things you appreciate. Like, we all have those people in our lives that when we try to talk to them about comic books, their eyes roll, they get glassy, they shake their head.
Right. But then our eyes light up. And
they use words to describe our comics that we would never use to describe them. But it's nice when we find those like-minded folks from all walks of life.
Exactly.
But we all have an appreciation, love for this common stuff.
Yep. I agree.
You know,
and
I love reading comics. I love talking comics. I love selling comics.
Oh, definitely.
You know, and I love buying collections. I'm so excited to look at this collection tomorrow. I hope I can score it. I hope I can come to, you know, a fair, you know, agreement, deal, what have you. But I'm still processing like the last 2 or 3 collections I bought. And it's funny how you buy different collections and they all have different, well, like this one, okay, this is the high-end bronze and silver. This is going to go pretty quick. I'm going to move some big issues out of this quickly. And I have And that's a couple boxes over there. But then I have this other collection I bought last Sunday morning. I pulled some Spawn. Actually pulled this pile that just happens to be in front of me. Nothing crazy. A pile of Spawns. Early numbers, not the huge bangers.
No,
Nothing,
they printed millions of those.
Yeah, but it's always nice to have some Spawn books for stock. You know, I got a couple of newsstands in the collection, but mostly I got 4 long boxes of books I'll sell for like $3 or less when you buy more. Good filler stuff. A nice run of Batman and Detective, a nice run of Daredevil and Aquaman and Flash. Just cool stuff. You know, and then I bought this one box when I was in Phoenix, and I think I'm gonna start doing taking more videos of these shows I'm doing. I have these opportunities to create cool content, and I just get so hung up on the selling, well, not the selling, but the setting up and everything that I forget to do that. Half the time I'm like, oh, I didn't even do a post on IG that I'm at this show. You know, somebody brought a box of comics and I paid a lot for the box, but it had like 5 nice ASM Silver Age books. The first, what's 32? Oh my God, the black cover issue. I think it's 28. The first appearance of, is it Molten Man?
I don't know.
I think it's 28. It's like a black cover. And then I had a nice copy of, I think 42, the one with Mary Jane on the cover in the dress, which I think is her first cover. And a couple other, you know, cool covers and they all sold very quickly. And that buy is where I got all those droids and Muppet Babies and the G.I. Joe 1 and the Punisher. You know, it was a decent little buy. There were some good books there. So, you know, I've kind of come to a place where I really enjoy what I'm doing, where I hit about 1 show a month, where I set up it with about 1 show a month. Like in June, it's going to be a crazy month. I'll be in Florida for a week. I'll probably hit up our old buddy,
really?
I'll probably hit up our buddy, Cat 60. Because I won't be far. I'll be staying not far from where he's at.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that because I will be in Dallas at the end of April for a show. And then I don't think I have another show until June. So
I'll be in, let me think for a second. In April, I have a show here in town in Las Vegas, Front Row Card and Comic Show. Then I'll have May. What do I have in May? I'm not sure what I have in May. I may not have a show. But then in June, when school ends in the end of May, from like, I don't know, the end of May to like June, early June, I'm going to Florida. So I'm going to hit up all my old comic book spots in Florida. But then I come back, and then that weekend I go to California. I'm doing a show called Near Mint Sundays, which is a show I'm so excited to set up at. I went to the last one with my buddy Paul, who was here earlier, and another buddy Chris, and that was honestly the most active. Like, it was the comic show. It's a pure comic show, and it had the most energy I've seen at a show since I've been doing shows. In terms of pure,
I need to get over there to Vegas for a bit.
That one's in California. And then the next weekend, the 15th, June 15th and 16th, I think, I'm going to Phoenix for the Front Row Phoenix show. May, I think I'm doing a Front Row show in Pasadena. I did that show once before, and it was really good. It was a really good show. So it was a fun show. Good places to eat over there in Pasadena. I ate at this like diner type place. It literally looked like they plucked it right out of Pulp Fiction. It was very surreal. But I thank everybody for hanging out. Thank you, Shelby, for reaching out and inviting me to hop on YouTube with you, bro.
For a while and talk some cool comics and things like that. So, like I said, I'll drop some things in the links and stuff below in the description for everybody. But yeah, other than that, peace, love, and comics. Trying to remember the whole thing. So, good night, all.
Good night, everybody.